Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 76 of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have the amazing Chantal de Vere, who is an event organizer at the Pine Rivers Garden and Plant Fair. Well, welcome, Chantal.
Oh, hello. Good to see you. We got that sip in.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. And so I met you when you actually were one of the first people to complete the undergraduate certificate of social media at the University of the Sunshine Coast. And so that was last year, wasn't it? First semester.
Yes, it was. It was good. It was a big leap of faith thinking I could do this.
Oh, and you did it very, very well.
Yeah, thanks. Well,
Today, just before we did this, I ran a seminar for social media communication students where they're doing their blogs and their vlogs, and we actually used yours as an HD example, as an exemplar to show the students what sort of things we're looking for. So yes, you did it very, very well.
Well, thank you very much. Good
And
teacher.
So you were already working in the field when you decided to take on the certificate, weren't you?
That's correct. Yeah. I'd been doing this event. This would be 5 years, and of course, I think it suddenly dawned on me that while I know a bit about social media, I didn't know enough. And I'm one of those people that think, well, if I don't know enough, I better go find out more. So it was just sort of luck at that time that I saw this course advertised and thought, well, that sounds like something I really need to delve into. So I'm glad I did. So yes, that's what I did it for.
Excellent. And so you've been in your role for like 5 years. So what do you think set you apart from other people going for that particular role?
In doing the events, well, there's two things there. I don't know whether to talk about social media or what sets the event apart.
Whatever you like.
Well, I've actually given this some thought recently because the event has gotten better and better over the 5 years, and I've noticed a lot of people have fallen by the wayside. I believe what sets it apart is that we are really well priced for all the vendors, because I've actually been on the other side of the coin where I've been a vendor. And I also feel that it's important to make something successful and not always earn a heap of money from it, to be fair. I make a lot of allowances so everybody gets an enjoyment out of it, and I involve the community a good deal with my event. So I try to make it fair for everybody, and everyone seems to enjoy that. Yeah.
And so when you were going for this role, what do you think set you apart in landing this role compared to other people?
Well, I run it and I own it. It was really easy. I employed me on the basis that I actually started it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's very entrepreneurial. So
yes, yeah, that was again, that's a really funny story. Well, it's not funny; it's a strange story. I'd again been a vendor on one side of the counter, and I'd also, as an aside, I studied at USC years ago as an environmental health officer. I went up to a council, got bullied, and they told me I was stupid.
Oh.
And well, bullies, it's just the way it is. Anyway, so years later, I'm thinking, I reckon I could probably run one of these things and not cost a fortune, and it'd be affordable for the public and the vendors. And it just went from that. And the reality is I actually started doing this event to see if I could and find out if I was or wasn't stupid, even though I'd done postgraduate work and a master's degree after being bullied. It was really this event that helped me through. Maybe I'm still stupid, I don't know. But I like to think I'm not. And and going forward with it, with the social media aspect of it, when all the newspapers closed down, that was COVID 2 years ago. It made you realise that you needed to have a lot more strings to your bow with advertising and getting word out somehow in different ways.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know that this was your event, so that's fantastic. And so what was the first one like? Was it just did you do a sort of small pilot and then it's grown? Or tell me how you've done it.
It wasn't small. It's definitely gotten bigger. I think I'm of the opinion if you're going to do something, do it really well and do it like you mean to go on.
Yeah.
It was very professional. I was amazed that it worked as well as it did. And now it's pretty much got a life of its own. I still do all the work. The only time I use volunteers is on the gates. But I do everything. I find all the vendors. I set up all the sites. Even this year I have to do the line marking again. I'm back into that. But I do it all for every single bit of it. And it's not because I'm not a team player. It's just it's easier. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't. When I've asked people to do things before, they don't always do it.
Yeah.
And so if I know it's being done, I'm pretty happy. And the people I do ask for help that I know now, they will actually do things. But I don't know. I guess I feel I'm fairly focused and disciplined with it. Yeah.
And what's some of the best career advice that you've been given?
Career advice I've been given. I'm stumped. I don't know if I've been given any really great career advice. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can give you some.
Well, we're going to come to that. So yeah, so that's fine. And so tell me then, based on your undergraduate certificate, what were some of the things that you learned at university? Well, even because you've been a couple of times, 3 times now. So what are some of the skills that you picked up from university that have really helped you in your work life?
Quite a lot. I firmly believe people need to do a proper university course of any description. You learn to research, you learn to write, you learn not to take everything at face value. You learn the correct procedures of doing things. You learn a lot from your peers. Look, I find research totally invaluable. I really have always enjoyed that. I like talking with people who have the ability to look outside of themselves instead of this is my opinion and I'm sticking to it, that kind of thing. Like, yes, but let's see how that really works. There's so many reasons, to learn how to write well is very important. Public speaking, I've never really had much of an issue with, but I believe that's a very good thing to learn at university, and it's difficult for many people. But I grew up with a whole bunch of people who did that. Lots of things. Networking is really important, like learning what other people are doing. There's so many things that I feel are important about doing uni.
And what, on the flip side of that, what are some things you wish you learned at university that you've actually really needed when you've been out working?
I think it's if I go back, because it's years, because I've had a business and so forth before, it's probably business studies would be always beneficial. That's very difficult, is navigating your way, because you can have as much as you learn everything once you leave. Obviously, you know a bit. Your job after you leave is to really put what you know to use if you're able to, because not every workplace wants you to do that. And I mean, that's just a sad fact. But is to build and then learn, and then your business part is difficult, like your superannuations, invoicing, accounting, all that stuff is difficult for everybody, because we're always let go, and then okay, so I don't know how to run a business. I know what I need to do, but then you've got to trust financial people after that. So that'd be a nice thing to have somewhere to learn, I think.
Yeah, we do have an undergraduate certificate in business. Not that you need it now, but yeah,
I couldn't stand it anymore. But yeah, I still do. I still do tax for people and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you clearly use social media a bit to promote your event. So what is something that you, because you know it changes all the time, what is something that you've learned over the last couple of weeks that you could share with us, that something you found interesting, or some sort of change or a tool, or just something you've noticed
in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
That's a tricky question. I honestly don't know. I remember I had a think about it, but in the last 2 weeks, I'm not sure. The world does change really quickly. No, I'm sorry, I don't really have a brilliant answer for that.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
what advice would you give to emerging professionals who are still studying or just entered the workforce about how to succeed in their careers?
It's really about focus, keeping your focus and keeping your discipline, scheduling in when you want to do your posts, understanding that demographic of whomever you're trying to engage with, and engaging with them that it makes sense to that demographic. I mean, my demographic is middle-aged and above, really, and I've got distinct demographics. I've got young people and couples living in the city who garden from balconies and whatever, and so that's completely different to traditional people who have got a little block of land and garden on it, to, again, people who like their other styles of gardens. So every time I create a social media advertisement for these events, I have to bear that in mind and be more specific to that target. Otherwise, if I just do a generic across the board, you lose a third each time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, being disciplined, I think, and keeping your focus is probably my primaries.
Yeah. And I guess that research really comes into play then, doesn't it, to really understand those different audiences.
Keeping going back to your social media and seeing who actually is opening it up, who's clicking on, who's engaging with you is really important. If you don't know that, then you could be just shooting a dart into the air because you don't know who you're really aiming for.
Yeah. And if you're trying to speak to everybody, you're not going to speak to anyone.
No, absolutely. Like I as soon as someone mentions palm trees to me, I'm just like glaze over. But if I don't like them at all. And garden clubs know that, so that I never do a talk on them. But that's right. So when I do specific ads, I'll use specific images, because, as you know, people relate to an image a lot faster than a word. So I try to have an image that goes, oh, hang on, that's caught my eye. And often as not, I'll make sure the images have a person in it who's looking pretty happy, or one of the vendors holding a product. So what I'm doing there is trying to get the people who come in going, oh, hang on, I know that person and I know what they sell. So they'll generally go, oh, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, I know what to expect. So there's a lot going on out in the world already before they actually walk in my doors. I'm pretty visual, I suppose, and I like to, if I've got anything I need to do that's somewhere else, I'm terrible. I'll Google Earth that place. I'll see what's it like. I'll know where the roads are. I need a map. So I often see it like that. When people don't know where they're going or what they're doing, I try to give them information without trying to be overloaded,
Yeah.
So that's why I do it what I do. I have people speak, I have maps, I have photographs, I have the Canva ads that I make up. So there's a whole variation of what goes on.
Yeah. And the most important question of the whole show is, who do you like, share, and follow?
Who do I like, share, and follow? Well, I was thinking about that as well, because I don't get a lot of time, but I do like BGANZ, which is the Botanic Gardens of Australia and New Zealand. They do an absolutely sterling job of promotion. They have a BGANZ Day, I think that's coming up May as well. They're wonderful. There's people like Tim Entwistle in that. Because my initial degree was in environmental studies, I still appreciate that. So I think that's probably one of my happiest, because that's Australia and New Zealand, and I get to see the botanical gardens, which I'm involved with as well. Yeah.
Excellent. And maybe you could tag their account in this post. the video, so then other people can follow them too.
I will do that.
That would be amazing. And so we're sort of at the end now of our interview. So do you have any final closing thoughts to share with the people watching?
I am thinking. No, I just probably reiterate that you need a plan. Like I said, I'm visual. I write things down. I have it my spreadsheets of where things have to be, what I need to do. But it's discipline and focus always. It's really to be disciplined in your working career. I've had other careers before. This is really my retirement. It's always just keep your mind sharp, keep on track, and not all criticism is great, but sometimes you need to listen to it, but try to keep your focus. If you know you're doing okay, go for it. And don't be put up by the odd one person that's mean-hearted, because they exist.
Yeah.
Even the bullies.
And their comments say a lot more about them than it does about you.
It really does. I mean, if you don't hear, we get incredibly good feedback from this event. I only ever thought about doing it once, and like I said, this is up to number 5. I was only doing it for a personal goal, but it's really quite enjoyable. It's a good fun day. We have. It's lighthearted. It's fun. People enjoy it. We give away a lot. Kids come, dogs. It's good fun. I think that's probably what makes the event such a happy space.
Yeah,
Plants.
Would you like to give a shout out to the event? Like when is it? And
the event's on the 14th and 15th of May, and it's funny because after finishing this study last year, I got asked by Ipswich Council to do one up there as well. It's much smaller. It's only a day, thank goodness. But I utilised a lot of social media. I had 6 weeks lead time to get that going, and it was a roaring success up there. So, that's what I mean. I use everything you taught me.
Oh,
a lot.
I'm glad it was helpful.
Oh, it was. No, it really, really was. I keep thinking people saying, oh, yeah, I know social media. No, you don't. You've really got to be more focused and more thoughtful about it than just, I'll keyboard this up and throw nothing out there, because you know it from the ads you'll see yourself that nothing you've got to be really fairly precise with what you're doing.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Chantal.
You're most welcome. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, it was great. It was really great, really helpful. And next week we have Shari Ormsby, who is a music teacher, and she graduated at the end of last year. So thank you, Chantal, and thanks to everyone for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.